Hello and welcome back to
The Zak
and Buzz
Review! And guess what we're reviewing?
Oh,
Go for it. Say it.
Joker, Folie, Deux.
Everyone laughed at me.
Oh, Folie.
Folie, Deuce.
Oh my Gideon. Do you know, I have been waiting for this movie. I absolutely adore the first movie.
This has got to be the biggest flop of the year.
Let me down totally.
The anticipation building up to this movie was immense and it delivered nothing.
Nothing. It was just an excuse for Lady Gaga to have a musical, basically.
The musical aspect really did not work with this character at all.
There was a couple of moments. Couple of moments that would have been fine. But honestly, this movie, to kind of sum it up, it really is just a courtroom drama of Fleck. What's his name?
Arthur
Fleck. I keep calling him Albert for some reason, but Arthur Fleck. Obviously, after the previous movie,
which was amazing,
being caught, being put in prison, and then being taken to court to be judged upon killing all these people.
You say that.
Yep.
That's what this film did. It basically said, "Do you remember all this stuff that happened in the first movie,
which was really good?"
That's it. That's all it does.
That's it. So yeah, but that was the thing. So it had me engaged, initially, because we see Arthur Fleck and he is on medication, and they make a point of saying, "Have you taken your medication?" and stuff. And it gets to the point where he is, I think he's imagining Harley Quinn in a cell with him. I don't think she's actually in the cell.
Well, that was the question with the first movie: what's real, what isn't? We don't know.
So, and he in that encounter says he stopped taking his meds, and you see the point is, up until there, there was a point where Harley Quinn sets fire to Arkham, and they sort of come out and they start dancing around. And when they were dancing in front of Arkham Prison, I was thinking, if this was a DC cartoon version of Joker and Harley, it felt right. You could just see their characters in a cartoon dancing around.
But that would be
just prior to escaping.
That would be the successful escape.
Yeah.
Are you nuts? Did you see how close we were dancing?
But anyway, obviously he doesn't escape at that point, so we end up going through the process of him going to court. And this is where there's this conversation goes with his lawyer and everything about whether or not the Joker is a separate personality within him, or whether he's making it up. And you see towards the end of the court case, after going through these laborious different musical numbers, that the Joker is actually gonna.
It's emerging.
It's emerging, and you get the impression that the Joker is going to represent himself in court, and you get this, and you think, at last we're getting somewhere. What we're going to do is we're going to see the Joker finally prove to everybody that he is a serious, real, separate personality. And because Arthur is off the drugs, that's what's been keeping him contained inside Arthur's head, and that he's going to then suddenly burst out, do this fantastic monologue in the court and everything, and then the court wall, which gets blown out, and then the Joker and Harley are going to dive out there, and then they're going to be, and it's going to be a fantastic ending. And
they bottled it.
It literally,
they bottled it.
Oh man!
Literally after what is the build up to this particular event?
Yeah, you think that the Joker's finally here.
Then they're going to pick up the trial on the next day. Meanwhile, he's been beaten up by the guards he's been making fun of.
Which normally in the movie, I've got to say, when you get that distressing point of where somebody gets beaten up, it's almost that's the trigger factor that makes them fully snap. And out comes the Joker.
As the complete reverse effect, and he just folds in on himself.
And just says...
And just completely crumbles as a character.
I'm Arthur Fleck.
Sorry, I'm Arthur Fleck, I did it.
And there is no Joker. And that's it. And it's like... right at the end of the movie, I know we're kind of scooting through this, but there's nothing really good to say about it. At the end of the movie, where he gets shivved in prison, you see the character behind him, which earlier in the movie bites one of the guards' arms, and they say that that boy's never done that before. There's something, he's never acted in that way before. And at the end of the movie, that's the one that shivs him. And in the background, you can see him giving himself a Chelsea smile. And you kind of think, okay, so is it that he's he's the really psychotic
Well, that's
Joker?
the thing. It's probably something we're never going to know, because we've obviously got a different Joker again in The Batman 2 at some point.
I think they've from the first movie of the Joker, and for somebody like myself who worked for years with mental health industry and worked with people that have got split personalities.
So you're sympathetic to that, yeah.
I'm very sympathetic to it, and I felt that they did it incredibly well, and I understood. I could have sympathy for Arthur Fleck's character in that.
The criticism is just the story as a Joker film.
But this one, they really screwed the pooch.
Because
they really ruined it. I really thought...
What actually happened? We had one death in the entire film, one explosion, no action whatsoever. This didn't feel like a DC movie. This felt like a courtroom drama musical.
Honestly, they could have taken the Joker and really brought him to the surface, and then have him break out of that courtroom with Harley Quinn, and then they could have gone back and given their justice to the guards, Arkham or something. And gone off into the sunset, ready for film number 3.
This should have been a beginning, not an end.
Yeah, this should have
this very much ends.
This should have been the beginning of the Joker completely and utterly squashing the Arthur Fleck in him, and becoming, in the next third movie, the underground crime lord of Gotham City.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
But no, they just destroyed it. They just literally destroyed it, which is such a shame.
Because
Joaquin Phoenix, it's just such a fantastic
He's a brilliant Joker in the first one.
Movie.
I gotta say, performance-wise, it's all okay. It looks good.
Yeah.
But it's the story and the writing that really kind of folds it all in half.
It just died a death. I came out there just thinking that Lady Gaga, and I mean no disrespect to you, Lady Gaga, if you ever see this, but I just felt like all these musical numbers were shoehorned in just for the sake of, because you're a singer and Lady Gaga's there, let's put musical numbers in, a couple of musical numbers. Because,
I don't know how much creative control she actually had.
Yeah, I know, but whether it was anything to do with Lady Gaga or just that the producer, the director decided that that's what they were going to pander. They're going to make use that as a theme in this movie, because you've got Lady Gaga in it. Oh, let's have lots more musical numbers because Lady Gaga can sing. Why? But in the DC cartoons, you would see the Joker and Harley maybe dancing around. They might sing a song, and it's that's fine. And a couple of numbers, fine. But I would like to have seen it a little bit more cohesively. The rise of the Joker. This should have been the rise of the Joker. The squashing of Arthur Fleck, the rise of the Joker, and then leading on, saying, "Wow, that was a fantastic."
Really pumping
ending.
You up for a further one.
What's going to happen next?
But it wasn't.
I was so disappointed.
Which is such
I've been
a shame.
waiting since the last movie when they said they were going to do a second movie. I've been waiting all this time, and I feel let down completely.
Flop of the year.
Flop of the year. This one.
So, okay, on that, what would you rate it out of 10?
Do you know? I don't even know if I'm going to bother rewatching this one.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Burn.
I don't know. I think I really don't know where I sit with this, because I don't even know if I could be bothered. If it came on the television, if it just came on TV, would you bother watching it? I don't know.
Or find something else.
Or would you go, I ain't watching this again?
Or imagine the film, but with adverts.
Imagine this movie also censored by TV companies, because that's what they do.
Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the movie itself.
I'm going to give it a 1. 1 out of 10. And that's only because there was a couple of scenes in there that, they were acted really well by Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. But that's it, 1.
I'm going to go 1.5.
Okay, you do like your 0.5.
1.5 for me, because I cannot deny that it looked good. It's just everything. It was the story. It was the story that completely folded, and it was really disappointing for me.
Yeah.
But it looked good.
Yeah.
They're the two poles of this conversation for me. It looked good, but everything else I didn't like.
But we had a conversation before going into the theatre saying, I wonder if we'll get like a tiny little cameo of, say, Batman or something.
Yeah.
You know, just even if it was the Batmobile.
Because they say it's
hacking it across a bridge.
It's a few years after the first one.
Yeah.
So the young Bruce Wayne's obviously grown up a bit.
Yep.
So there could have been something in there. Something,
you know.
some reference beyond the Joker. Obviously, you did have Harvey Dent in there.
Two-Face.
You had Two-Face.
They did mention, obviously, that we're in Gotham City. And
I thought it was the perfect opportunity for when
Arkham.
they had that explosion.
Yep.
For him to have half of his face cut off or something.
Yep.
Or like burnt off.
Yep.
But
He
just looked a tiny. It looked like he had a bloody nose, and I was like, "That's a missed opportunity right there."
Yeah, it missed a lot.
It missed a lot.
I think it tried its best and just failed miserably.
This has probably been retrospectively our worst review of anything.
This is the worst review of a movie I really wished would have been fantastic.
Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see. And please tell us what you think of Joker Folie.
Stick it in the comments and
We'd
we
love
shall
to know.
see you in the next one.